Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing some drugstore obsessions, products that I've really been enjoying and products that I do recommend for you to look into. Now you probably have tried some of these already, if not all of them, but there are a few products in this video that you've never heard me talk about, and some of them just came to Canada recently. So I know I might be late to the game with some of these products, but we have no choice here in Canada because we're always late to receive things. I don't know why that is, but I know that e.l.f. just came out with a brand new vitamin C serum. Apparently it's supposed to be a dupe to the SkinCeuticals vitamin C plus E ferulic. That is not available in Canada, and I'm not sure if we are able to purchase it. Maybe on the e.l.f. website. I should look into that. It's not on the elf.ca website, it's on the .com, but we don't have that here yet in Canada, and I've been really wanting to try it. So let me know if you've tried it and if you recommend it. I'm going to try and get my hands on it. But in the meantime, I'm going to be sharing some other great, lovely options that you can purchase easily at your local drugstore. So let's get right into today's video. Of course, all of the products that I'm sharing will be linked below for you for your reference, including discount codes for other brands and related videos. I would also really appreciate it if you could kindly give this video a thumbs up, and if you could also subscribe and ring that notification bell. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a brand that you haven't heard me talk about yet. This is the Naked Sundays Collagen Glow Mineral Perfecting Priming Lotion. So Naked Sundays just launched in Canada at Shoppers Drug Mart. I was there not long ago and I actually shared a picture of this on my Instagram stories, and I had heard so much about this brand and I see videos all the time, and I thought, Naked Sundays, like, I've seen this before. And I'm at Shoppers and I'm like, I've seen this before. Is this actually the brand that I'm thinking of? And it was, and I thought, oh my God, when did we get this in Canada? I'm not at Shoppers Drug Mart like every week, so I was like going through the sunscreen section and I saw this and I thought, what is going on? So of course I was really intrigued and I decided to go with this one. Now they don't sell the entire line there, like there were like 4 or 5 other products there. I do believe they were all chemical based sunscreens. This is mineral. I prefer mineral. I only use mineral sunscreens because they are more gentle, and I find that my skin does become quite irritated with chemical based sunscreens. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with chemical based, but for me personally, my skin doesn't like it and I much prefer to stick with mineral based sunscreens. So this was totally something that I really wanted to try, and I am going to see if I can venture out and go on their website, as they do have a Canadian site, and I'm going to pick up some more things. I have really been seeing a lot of videos. I have Berkeley fur on my face. I'm sorry you guys. I can't. That's the thing with having like a dewy complexion all the time, is that everything sticks to your face and then it's impossible to get it off your face. So what I was saying was, there are some products that I do want to try from Naked Sundays. I have seen a lot of videos on TikTok on the Beauties Screen Peptide Foundation Tint. I think that's what it's called, and it's an SPF 50 and it's all mineral, and it's supposed to give great coverage from what I have seen, and it's supposed to give like that dewy glowy complexion, which of course I love. So I really want to try that, and then there were a few things that caught my eye as well online. So if I do pick up some of these products, of course I will touch on those in a later video. So this contains vegan collagen as well as watermelon extract. This is actually a very hydrating formulation, but there is a little bit of a thickness to it. So it is a 4-in-1. This actually acts as a makeup primer. And this formula, like the texture and consistency of this, almost reminds me of the Australian Gold Botanical. Remember that SPF that I used to talk about? It's tinted, it comes in a few different shades, and it's quite thick, and I do believe it's an SPF 50. I will insert a picture if you don't know what I'm talking about. I haven't used that in a really long time. I used to really enjoy that sunscreen, but it was a little mattifying for my liking, and I found it to be a little bit drying on my skin. but it was exceptional underneath foundation and makeup because everything just gripped to it. This is very similar in terms of the texture. There is a slight tint to this, but it's not going to give you a tint. It's just a slight tint to eliminate that white cast, at least for me personally. So if you have a darker skin tone, I can see this working. Maybe there might be a slight cast depending on how dark your skin is, but I really like how brands do this because I don't always want to use a tinted sunscreen, but having that little beigey tint to it does help to disguise that possible white cast. And that's what it looks like there. So you can see that there is a little bit of a tint, and again, the texture and consistency really reminds me of that Australian Gold. It spreads nice, but when you spread it, you can feel that thickness, but it is very moisturizing, and I think this is going to be great for all skin types. Again, I have combination skin. I do get quite oily in the summer, and I am acne prone. So far, so good. I haven't experienced any breakouts with this, and it does leave a little subtle glow to your skin as well. It's honestly great for those that have sensitive skin, and this has a zinc oxide of 22.75%, and it's water resistant up to 80 minutes. So sometimes I will put this on before a tinted sunscreen because when it comes to real tinted sunscreens that leave a tint on the skin, I don't like to rely on those as my full sun protection because I don't want to put 2 to 3 finger lengths of that all over my face and my neck because it just looks too much on my fair skin. So I like to put something like this that is non-tinted first, put the 2 to 3 finger lengths all over, and then go in with a tinted sunscreen afterwards just to even out my skin, or of course a foundation, CC cream, whatever. But this is great on its own or paired up with tinted sunscreens as well as foundation. So if you're looking for something new, something that is an SPF 50, water resistant, and something that is also really moisturizing but doesn't feel heavy on the skin, then I do really recommend this. So before I move on to the next product, I wanted to look up that Australian Gold Botanical Tinted Sunscreen that I was mentioning, and it came in different shades. It doesn't look like they sell that one anymore. Perhaps you might be able to find it in some places, but it doesn't look like it's available on the Australian Gold website. Instead, they have something that is similar. Perhaps it's the exact same thing, but the packaging looks completely different and everything on the packaging looks different. And it comes in different shades also. So it's probably the same thing. Like one of them comes in the shade fair to light, which is probably what I would want to use. And then there's medium to tan and then rich to deep. And it's still an SPF 50, all minerals. So it's the same idea, but if you decide to look it up, it just looks like they've changed the packaging now. Next is the Cocokind Ceramide Lip Blur Balm. Now, I don't believe this is available at Shoppers Drug Mart. I did briefly look the last time I was there when I picked up the Naked Sundays, and I didn't see these there. Now, I was gifted this product along with some of the other shades that they have in the collection. We can purchase this on the Cocokind website, but I don't believe it's at Shoppers Drug Mart, at least the one that I was at. But if you love a good tinted lip balm, something that gives that nice tint but also has skin benefiting ingredients like a tripeptide, glycerin, ceramides, then you're going to love this. It helps to repair the lips, preventing transepidermal water loss. Of course, those peptides in there will help to address lip lines, and it does help to give this little plump. There's no sensation to this. It's not a true plumping lip product, but the ingredients in here will naturally give that plump because of how hydrating this is. Now, I do have a lip tint on today, and I actually have a little bit of this on top just to give moisture. This is in the shade Be Kind, but like I said, I do have the other shades as well. This is actually my favorite shade. Out of all of them, I do have the one that is translucent. I tend to use that one quite a bit also. And it just gives a nice little slight pinky tint to the lips, but again, really hydrating. So I love putting these on top of lipsticks, lip stains, and then of course, I just love using it on its own paired up with a lip liner. So if you love products like this, I think you're going to really love it. Plus it is super affordable. Next up is the BaliBody Gradual Tan. Now I did briefly talk about this in a past video. I will link that video up here. If you didn't already know, BaliBody is now available at Shoppers Drug Mart. And when I saw that, I couldn't believe it, because I used to talk about BaliBody a lot in past videos years ago. Like when I first started my YouTube channel, I used to talk about BaliBody, and I did a video dedicated to their self-tanning mousse in shade Dark. And I still use that product to this day, and we can now purchase that at Shoppers Drug Mart. I did purchase it when I purchased this. I haven't used it yet because I've actually been quite enjoying that gradual tan, because, you know, sometimes I don't want that full-on tan look, especially this time of year. I kind of like to gradually get tan as the season gets warmer, and then I might start tanning a little bit more in terms of that self tan. But this is actually really nice, and it's streak free, and there is a scent to this. This does have like a floral tropical type of scent. It's actually quite nice, and you're not orange with this. This actually gives you that real vacation tan. So if you want to build this up to like that deep tan, then use this every single day until you get that desired shade that you're looking for, or you can just use this every other day, a couple of times a week, just to maintain. And I like to have control, and this is something that you do have control with, because, you know, you can put little amounts, you can add more, you can use it more often. Like I like to have control, especially with self tanner, and this one is really lovely, and I do have it on my skin right now. I can't tell you how many applications this is because I have been using this for a couple of weeks now, but it does gradually give you this really nice vacation tan. I know I look awkward here, but I'm just trying to give you like a really good idea. Like that there doesn't give you a good idea, but when I do that, you can see that, you know, it just has that subtle bronzed look, and I love it. And it does last a really long time on your skin. Like it doesn't wear off weird. It's not like a real self tanner where it starts to wear off and you look like spotty. It doesn't wear like that, which is why I really like this. It just wears evenly, and you just start to fade and fade like a normal tan, and then you just keep adding to it. Or you can just completely exfoliate your skin at the end of the week and start fresh again. I mean, you could do that too. You'd probably get a better effect by doing that so that you don't get that buildup, but it wears really nice, and I'm really impressed with this. This is actually very similar and comparable to the Jergens Gradual Tan. I actually don't really like that one. I used to use it just because, but I don't like the scent of it. It is very fragranced, and it's so strong. It would always give me a headache, and then your clothes would reek. I can't. Like I couldn't do it with the Jergens, but this one actually has a more pleasant fragrance to it. I know we're all different and we all have different preferences when it comes to fragrance, but this is actually a much better scented product, and I think that this gives a nicer shade to the skin as well compared to the Jergens. Now I actually have a few products from Bubble, and this is where I'm late to the game here. I know this has been out for a while, but this just launched not long ago at Shoppers Drug Mart, and of course I had heard a lot about it and I wanted to try it. So there are 3 products I'm going to be sharing in this video. They don't have the entire line at Shoppers Drug Mart. Like, do they ever? No, they probably just sell the most popular products. I'm sure that there's some other great products from this brand, but I think Shoppers only has like 5 or 6 products. Something like that. There's not a lot. But this one is really nice, especially if you love your serums and you love your vitamin C. So this is called the Daydream Tone and Texture Serum with vitamin C plus niacinamide. Now, yes, this contains a vitamin C derivative. I actually have been really enjoying vitamin C derivatives lately because they do have a longer shelf life, and you can pair them up with more things. You can pair up vitamin C derivatives with retinol, with tretinoin, with peptides. You can pair them up basically with anything that your skin can tolerate well too. And I have been enjoying that because, as you know, with pure forms of vitamin C like ascorbic acid, you do need to be cautious on what you pair up with it, because for those that have sensitive skin, you wouldn't want to pair ascorbic acid up with retinol or tretinoin, because there could be a possible conflict in terms of irritation, or maybe one of the ingredients not being potent enough. It might affect the efficacy of one of the ingredients of one of the products. But this one has that vitamin C derivative. It also has niacinamide, so this of course can be very brightening. It can help with dark spots, discoloration. There's also alpha arbutin in here. Now this is kind of giving me similar vibes to the ordinary ascorbic acid plus alpha arbutin. Remember that serum? Yeah, that's discontinued and it's no longer available at the ordinary. But yes, this is a little different, but the same concept idea where we have that vitamin C, we have that alpha arbutin. Alpha arbutin is another ingredient that brightens the skin, very similar and comparable to hydroquinone, but way more gentle, and you can use this long term, whereas hydroquinone you can't. You can only use that for so long, and generally that's prescribed. So alpha arbutin is a really nice brightening ingredient, and we have tranexamic acid in here as well, which is another brightening ingredient. So if you struggle with dark spots, post-acne marks, discoloration, dullness, then I think this is going to be a serum for you, because from the experience and the time that I've had with this, it is brightening. So with long-term use, this can really transform a dull complexion into that really nice, bright, glowing complexion, which I think looks really healthy. This also has licorice root extract, which is another ingredient that can naturally brighten the skin, and there's ceramides in here. So this is a very hydrating serum that helps to keep the skin barrier nice and strong, prevents water loss, but at the same time, it helps to brighten and of course address fine lines and wrinkles. And this can be another serum that can help protect the skin from oxidative stress, everyday pollution. So this can be used every day, twice a day, or you can just use this in the morning if you want to, paired up with another serum, maybe a moisturizer of some kind, and sunscreen. You can use this at nighttime. Even though there is tranexamic acid in here, I do believe that this is a very gentle serum, of course, from my experience, but gentle enough that you could still pair this up with a retinol or with tretinoin. If you have very sensitive skin, then obviously be cautious, but this can honestly be paired up with anything, and I am really, really impressed with this. Next is the Bubble Fresh Start Gel Cleanser. Now, I know cleansers are not exactly the most exciting product to talk about, but cleansers are an important role in our everyday skincare routines, whether it's morning or night, but especially at night. And I think this is going to be a really nice one for the summer months because it does have that nice lather. It really cleanses the skin. It's a PHA cleanser that removes impurities, dirt and oil, and grime off the skin. And so in the summer, we have a lot of sunscreen on our face. We obviously have a lot of oil and whatever else is going on with our skin. I think this is going to be a great one, especially for evening, to really cleanse and get that skin prepped for your evening skincare routine. This is great for all skin types, even sensitive and dry skin. But if you have combination skin like myself, oily skin, and acne prone skin, you are really going to enjoy this. This doesn't strip the skin. Your skin doesn't feel tight afterwards. I hate cleansers that do that, and I will never recommend a cleanser that strips the skin barrier. No bueno. I am not for that. And usually gel cleansers can do that. They do have a reputation of stripping the skin, but this one does not, and it leaves your skin feeling squeaky clean without feeling tight, and I think that's really nice. And I like the packaging. Like, the packaging is really fun and cute, and it has a little pump here, and it does emulsify into this really nice lather. I mainly use this at nighttime. I don't really use this in my morning. I might opt for something else, like something creamy for the morning, but for nighttime, because of that lather, this does a really good job to remove makeup and sunscreen. I don't use this as that first cleanse to remove my makeup and sunscreen. I will use something else, but sometimes after that first cleanse, we still have a residue left over from, a cleansing balm or a cleansing oil. This will ensure that your skin is completely clean and prepped for all of your other skincare products. And the last product I'm going to be mentioning is by Bubble, and this is the Bounce Back Balancing Facial Mist. Now, when I first purchased this and I used it for the first time, immediately it reminded me of the Cocokind Rose Water Toner. I have, like, the facial mist. I have talked about that before in the past, and I still love that product, and I still occasionally use it. This was very similar because it has the same scent. It smells like real roses, as there is rose water in here. And also there's niacinamide. We have seawater in here, which is supposed to help mattify the skin and reduce the appearance of pores. Now, I wouldn't say that this mattifies your skin completely. It might slightly mattify it, but from my experience with this, it doesn't mattify out completely. So if that is what you're looking for, you may or may not experience that. I personally don't like matte looking skin on myself, so I'm glad that this doesn't do that. But I just want to let you know that there is seawater in here that is supposed to do that. So whether it does it for you or not, we don't know. But there's also willow bark extract in here, and of course the list goes on. So you can use this within your skincare routine. Obviously, you can use this right after cleansing, but before your serums, your moisturizer, and you can actually use this throughout the day as well on top of your makeup and on top of sunscreen. It has a really nice fine mist. Like, the mist, the nozzle on this is beautiful. It covers your entire face and it smells like real roses. I really love it. It's just so refreshing to use. So if you love facial mist, then perhaps you might like this as well. But that is my drugstore favorites. Those are my current products that I am loving that are really affordable to look into. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask away. I would love to know if you've tried any one of these products before. Let's get a conversation going in that comment section. And again, I will have everything linked below for you for your reference. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And of course, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, and I will see you all then. Bye, guys.